Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be discussing the American science fiction action film Crater. Spoiler ahead. Watch out and take care. In the close future, Earth's complete devastation due to nuclear wars becomes uninhabitable. Consequently, a team of settlers is dispatched to the moon with the objective of establishing a foundation for future colonies. Regrettably, their attempts at colonization prove unsuccessful, leading them to shift focus towards lunar resource extraction through mining operations. Miners toil for 2 decades before allowing the opportunity to embark on a journey to a flourishing planet named Omega, where humanity has found success. To endure the hard 75-year journey, travelers are placed into cryosleep. After 50 years since humans settled on the moon, a generation of bored children grows up inside the monotonous mines, longing for adventure. In the year 2257, rumors spread about a mysterious object that crashed into the moon, leaving a crater, but access to it is strictly forbidden. One day, a group of kids gathers near the hangar with a daring plan to steal a rover and escape from their confined lives. They hide behind furniture whenever adults pass by, engaging in heated discussions about their next steps. In an unfortunate turn, Dylan accidentally triggers an alarm while attempting to activate the rover, putting at risk their secret mission. Amidst the ongoing arguments, Caleb clutches a small capsule, reflecting on the chain of events that led them to this point. It turns out Caleb's father passed away, and with no remaining family since his mother's passing 7 years ago, he faces being sent to Omega. There, he will be adopted by a new family, with cryosleep ensuring he maintains his youthful state upon arrival. Despite his strong attachment to his friends, Caleb's objections are disregarded, and he learns that he must depart once a meteor shower subsides in 3 days. This triggers memories of his father, Michael, who used to teach him how to conquer his fear of the towering ladders around the lunar base. Together, they ascend, gazing at the sky while Michael tells wisdom about the enduring connection of family. He desires Caleb to witness the crater before his passing. Caleb returns to that meaningful spot, brimming with nostalgia, joined by his loyal friends, Dylan, Borny, and Marcus. Learning of Caleb's impending departure, they feel sadness, yet they are aware of his father's last wish. Dylan suggests a final adventure, a covert expedition to the crater by sneaking out of the base. First, they steal a bunch of useful tools for the trip, and while they're going through their findings, Caleb has been visited by an officer who brings the capsule containing Michael's ashes. During lunch, they realize that acquiring base passcodes is crucial for their departure. Dylan musters the courage to approach Addison, a girl who is not friendly to others due to her recent arrival from Earth, and everyone thinks she's weird. Recognizing that her father is part of the science team, Dylan sees an opportunity to acquire the necessary codes. However, his initial approach is awkward, raising suspicion in Addison. Determined, Dylan follows her and opens up about his true intentions. Addison, craving adventure and envious of the boys' friendship, agrees to provide the codes on the condition that she joins them on their site. Returning to the present, Caleb deftly disconnects a wire in the rover, silencing the alarm just before a lockdown is announced. With Dylan assuming the role of the driver due to his driving skills, the children successfully enter the vehicle. Caleb enters the code provided by Addison, who adorns the control panel with a small bobblehead astronaut, a tradition from Earth. As they cross a lengthy corridor, Caleb reflects on his father's farewell words. Finally, they emerge into the open, greeted by the breathtaking lunar landscape. Taking a moment to appreciate the view, and for Marcus to tend to his heart condition, they proceed along the road and soon come across a magnificent abandoned structure, its beauty captivating them all. Caleb shares Michael's knowledge with the group, revealing that the structure is a remnant of humanity's failed attempt to colonize the moon. Once Omega was discovered, the moon was left behind, becoming a desolate and disheartening place. Addison fails to grasp the significance, as she is the daughter of a higher-ranking individual and remains unaware of the harsh reality. The truth is that any minor mistake or delay, such as arriving late or falling ill, can result in an extension of their contract. Furthermore, if someone dies before completing their 20 years, their next of kin must fulfill the remaining years alongside their own. It's a deceptive scheme designed to keep families working on the moon forever. Addison apologizes for her earlier behavior and makes amends by sharing captivating tales of Earth, describing elements like trees, the blue sky, and the ocean. After a while of driving, they halt the rover and don suits for a walk. Addison, with a superior suit, surprises the boys with her stunning appearance. Stepping outside, they delight in the altered gravity, reveling in their ability to jump higher. Witnessing Earth's beauty for the first time, they are amazed by its vibrant blue color. The sight sparks Addison's desire to teach the boys about the game of baseball. Using improvised equipment like stones and sticks, the group attempts to play baseball. But the effects of gravity cause the ball to soar too far. Frustrated by the boys' lack of understanding, Addison decides to have a moment alone. Overwhelmed by nostalgia for her old home, she yearns to hold Earth in her hand, fighting back tears. Suddenly, a noise interrupts her thoughts, and she turns to find the boys using an oxygen tank to propel themselves into the air, securing themselves to the rover with a cable. Addison views this as a dangerous and wasteful idea, given the limited oxygen supply. However, Dylan persuades her to join by subtly implying that she is a coward. As they take turns, the group engages in a playful competition, each trying to reach higher heights. However, during Borny's turn, his cable snaps, leaving him drifting without control. The other kids quickly gather additional oxygen tanks and launch themselves into the air to assist their friend. With limited control over their trajectory, they experience a scattered and amusing series of collisions. Amidst the unexpected crashes, they manage to cling onto one another, combining their weight to descend safely back to the ground. With their oxygen reserves running low, the group becomes uncertain if they can reach the crater. Caleb suggests searching for more at an abandoned outpost from the original settlement. However, Borny strongly opposes the idea, citing stories from his brother about ghosts haunting the outpost. Dylan confronts Borny, belittling his brother and provoking him to insult Dylan's family in return. This escalates into a fight that Marcus attempts to break up, but ends up getting drawn into instead. Amidst the chaos and shouting, Caleb's voice breaks through, reminding them that this isn't how they should spend their remaining time together. The boys apologize to each other and reconcile. Upon reaching the outpost, they find it shrouded in darkness. As they cautiously move through a corridor, they catch sight of human-like figures and scream in fear. However, once they switch on the lights, they realize it's merely a collection of mannequins. Addison realizes that this place isn't an outpost, but rather a house meant to showcase the future colonization of the moon. While exploring the house, Dylan opens up to Addison about his father who ran away, shedding light on Borny's early remarks. Caleb's gaze falls upon a mannequin, triggering memories of his own father and the stories he would share about Caleb's mother. Eventually, the group stumbles upon a storage area filled with oxygen tanks and an abundance of food, prompting them to decide to spend the night there. After enjoying a hearty meal, they gather around a fire, and Addison delves into more tales about Earth, sharing the lost cultures and belief systems. Addison opens up about her parents' divorce and how her mother and brother are in cryosleep for 75 years on Omega, leaving her unable to communicate with her brother. Unexpectedly, Borny's accidental button press activates music and reveals that the house is controlled by a central computer. This discovery makes Caleb reflect on the injustice of abandoning valuable things like art. Filled with anger and rebellion against the system, the kids give in to their fury and decide to destroy the house. They unleash their destructive energy, breaking objects and engaging in a wild pillow fight. They explore every room without concern for the consequences. While most of the boys eventually fall asleep, Addison and Caleb stay awake. Caleb confides in Addison, expressing the significance of Dylan as his closest friend, recounting how Dylan shared his food when Caleb had none. He worries about Dylan's fate once he's gone. Caleb urges Addison to promise that she will be there for Dylan and support him once Caleb is gone. The next morning, they resume their journey in the rover, but it runs out of battery after a few hours. While the boys argue about what to do, Addison sends a distress signal, highlighting the substantial time they have until the rescue team arrives due to the lockdown. They realize they can use this time to trek to the crater on foot and return later to be rescued. Putting on their suits, they walk for a while until they finally reach the immense crater. Caleb reminisces about his father, Michael, and how he had made him promise to visit the crater someday. He hopes that his father would be proud of him. As they peer into the crater, they are taken aback by a radiant structure surrounded by peculiar pillars. One of the pillars bears the inscription, "The past is never far away." To their surprise, a door in the floor opens, leading them down a staircase into a corridor with breathable air. After exploring further, they come across a room with a solitary artificial tree encircled by darkness, accompanied by words that speak of abandoned skies. Addison identifies the familiar room and presses the walls until a hidden panel emerges, exposing a button. Pushing it activates a blinding white light, instantly transporting them to Earth. The boys are overwhelmed by their first encounter with the beauty of nature and the vibrant blue sky. However, upon closer inspection, they realize that everything around them is merely a holographic projection. Nevertheless, the experience leaves a lasting impression on them, evoking a sense of wonder and amazement. Caleb discovers a star-shaped object on the floor, ending the hologram when he removes a panel. Beneath it, he finds his mother's ashes and a photograph of his parents together. Understanding his father's intentions, Caleb keeps the picture and leaves both his parents' ashes behind. However, he is deeply saddened as he realizes that leaving the moon, his true home, is something he still doesn't want to do. Dylan reminds Caleb that everyone's dream is to leave the moon and have a better life in Omega, emphasizing that Caleb shouldn't waste this opportunity as it goes against his father's wishes. Suddenly, Marcus falls ill due to decreased blood pressure caused by being outside. The group assists Marcus in leaving the building to retrieve his medicine. However, upon stepping outside, they are greeted by a meteor shower. Barney is frightened, but Caleb encourages him, and the group bravely navigates through the falling meteors while carrying Marcus, creating a thrilling and daring escape. The boys swiftly reach the rover, but a meteor narrowly misses Addison, causing her to stumble and seek shelter behind a rock. Upon realizing that Addison is missing, Barney stays behind with Marcus to attend to his medication, while Caleb and Dylan return to rescue Addison. As they reach her, a meteorite strikes Dylan, rendering him unconscious. Fortunately, their suits are equipped with a repair gun, which they use to seal the cracks in Dylan's helmet before resuming their journey. Despite the meteors posing a constant threat, Caleb stumbles while carrying Dylan, but with Addison's assistance, they regain their footing and safely reach the rover. Trapped in the rover with a broken window and a dwindling oxygen supply, the kids resign themselves to their fate, believing that no one will come due to the ongoing meteor shower. They decide to sleep, accepting that they will die together when the oxygen eventually runs out. However, Dylan unexpectedly wakes up a few minutes later, and he and Caleb adjust as they come to terms with Caleb's impending departure. Just as the lack of air begins to overcome him, Caleb closes his eyes and faintly hears the sound of approaching people. Caleb awakens later to a devastating realization that he has been transported to Omega without the opportunity to bid farewell to his friends. In his bag, he discovers cherished mementos, a photograph of his parents and Addison's bobblehead. The nurse brings him a digital player containing messages from his friends, spanning the 75 years they have been apart. Caleb listens eagerly, discovering that Marcus has formed a baseball team, while Addison has fearlessly initiated a strike to advocate for better contracts for the miners. Barney's leadership role as a result of their successful efforts. Dylan and Addison's journey led to marriage, children, and even grandchildren. Caleb experiences a bittersweet mix of emotions as he listens to his friends' voices evolve over time, realizing they have grown and experienced life without him. Caleb embraces a fresh start on Omega, finding a caring foster family who provides him with a fulfilling life. Although it takes time, he eventually adjusts and forms new friendships. With a sense of closure, Caleb sets out to find Addison's brother and presents him with a bobblehead, sharing the messages and recounting the unforgettable moon adventure they shared. Thank you for watching our recap. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and feel free to explore our other recaps.